Well, this morning I've come down to Newlyn, just outside Newlyn. Don't know if you can see the harbour there in the background behind me. And I've just walked down that path. Got the harbour wall, Penzance around there. Michael's out in the sun, which is quite bright this morning. It's a really bright morning. And I've just come down the ramp on the end there, and I've got a nice sort of flat area to which I think I can take off from. So I'm going to get my drones up, see what we can get. I want to do a time lapse as well, but it's a bit rocky and a bit slippery, so I'll have to see what I can find. But yeah, we'll get set up and we'll get them in the air. That's been fantastic. What a spot. What an absolute spot. There's no wind, it's calm. The sea, I don't know if it's coming, I think it's just going out. But that's been amazing. Some amazing footage of the harbour. There have a few boats in and around the harbour. But I'm now shooting up to Mousehole. To see if I can get the harbour up there for the next bit of the filming for this stage, which is at Newlyn round to Lamorna Cove. And again, if you look in the top of the screen there is a video to a film that I did in Lamorna Cove a good few years ago, so please check that one out. So yeah, I'm shooting up to Mousehole. In fact, you can just see on the end, I don't know if you can spot that out on this camera. Let me just come up onto this wall. I'm just walking on this wall, and there's a fair drop there. Yeah, you can see the old Penlee lifeboat house in the distance, which I think is now a grade 2 listed building. Those of you who aren't aware of the lifeboat accident back in the 80s, where unfortunately all the crew lost their lives trying to save another vessel just round from Lamorna. So it's very sad. But yeah, I'm glad it's grade 2 listed. I think they do open it on certain days of the year, I think, as like a museum, because it's been left completely as it was on that night. And no one's been in and moved anything or touched anything, and quite rightly so, to be honest. Amazing, just listening to that sea. Let's just walk along here a bit. See, I think this path did many years ago go all the way around, because you can see the houses in the distance there. The path does go in front of those, but obviously here I think the ground must have given way and it's taken the path with it. But this is quite close to the edge here, as you can see. And this is probably a 15-foot drop. But yeah, you can see there, look, as the path's gone. Well, I suppose you could climb down, but not with all this gear on. I'm not going to risk it. Oh yeah, I reckon it went along there, then along that wall, but no more. You can still get down there and on the rocks, but yeah, not with this gear on. So I'm going to go back to my car and shoot onto Mousehole to see where I can film the harbour up there. So I'll catch you up there. So I've just got to the outskirts of Mousehole, which is just further around that point. But I'm walking along this raised wall, if you will, which just goes up to these rocks on the end, because just around that point there is the Penlee lifeboat that I've just mentioned, and also the Solonian has just set sail. I'd show you, but I think you get blinded with the sun. But yeah, he's on his way to, well, give it a go. Don't know if you can see the shadow. Just there, the boat. So he's on his way to the Scillies, which I think is about a 2-hour 20 journey, I think. Which I would like to go on, to be honest. I went when I was a kid, but I don't really remember the Scillies. So yeah, I'd like to go now that I live in Cornwall. So yeah, I think I'm gonna maybe sit up on this top of these steps and fly this portion, and then shoot round to Mousehole into the harbour to film the harbour. So yeah, we'll get set up and we'll get flying. That was pretty smart. I managed to film this bit of the coast, albeit 600 yards. So yeah, I'm just wandering around back along this wall, this raised wall, just to the south side of the harbour. I know a little spot there. Luckily the tide's out, but then again I don't know if it's coming back in, I don't know. Luckily the tide's as far out as it is, and I know a little spot that I can walk on right round past the harbour, which I'll put on the screen now, where I can sit on a rock and not be interrupted by anyone and not interrupt anyone. So yeah, I also filmed this natural pool. I don't know if any of you guys know there's a pool that's been formed in the rocks on the front here at Mousehole, which I'm just walking around to now, so just give me a second. I don't know if you can make that out. Pool there in the rocks, which I do remember going in quite a few times when I was a kid on a rubber dinghy. So yeah, I'm just going around now. Just climb up here, just where those houses are, right on the very end on the rocks there, and I can see that the tide's out, so I should be okay. Just to film around there, because around that corner there is Lamorna Cove, which is obviously where I want to end up at for this stage. So let's get over to those rocks and let's get set up. Just walked along the harbour there, through Mousehole. It's my favourite spot. Mousehole, I love it, I love it. Yeah, walked along the front, walked along this little path. You can also come along the road, I'll just show you. and come down these steps. But the camera might not do it justice because they are really steep. So that's not ideal for the infirm. But yeah, I'm just walking around this small little concreted path along the front, because I know there's a rock that's just round here that I have sat on before to take off with my drone. There's a guy out in a canoe, so I'm up here. I'm going to find this rock and we'll do what I need to do and move further around up towards, I think it's Raginnis Hill, which is mega steep, which then obviously takes you around further towards Lamorna Cove around the coastal path. So I'll see if I can find this rock, and then nearly went then. Nice rock pool here. Lovely view, I must admit. So yeah, we'll see if we can find this rock. Well, that was fantastic. I've used all 3 batteries on my Mini 3. I've got some fantastic pictures. Got some amazing videos. I actually followed a boat, a small fishing boat, up the coast. I followed him, hovered above him, I didn't want to interrupt him. Filmed him, so hopefully that'll come out pretty good on the video. But yeah, the tide's starting to creep in a bit. I've got a time lapse going with my 360 camera, and I've kept my eye on that rock. There's a rock down there that I've kept my eye on, and it's over the top of that now, so obviously the tide's coming in. And I know that this does get cut off because the water line is, well, where my bag is. So that's the water line there, where the rocks change colour. So it's on its way. So I'm going to shoot now up Raginnis Hill, which is quite a steep hill, to be honest. And it goes right round to Lamorna Cove, which is where this stage finishes. So I'm just going to see how that goes on, because it's quite a walk up there. But I am quite conscious of the fact that all my batteries are getting quite low now on my drones, so I might have to nip back home, give them a quick charge, and then come back out again. But yeah, just look at this, just look at this. I mean, where is it better in the world on a day like today, next to the sea? So yeah, so I'm gonna shoot back to my car, up to the top of this Mammoth hill, and see how we get on. So I've just got to the top of Raginnis hill there, at the top of Mousehole, and I'm currently walking along this really narrow southwest coast path, which I'm heading towards Lamorna Cove. The sun is up, it's about 6:30. It's a bit breezy though today. I mean, yesterday was quite nice. It's a bit of a breezy day today. But they said today's going to be the nicest day, so we'll have to see how it goes. So hopefully it'll open up a bit and I'll be able to see where I'm going, because all the trees and bushes around me are taller than me. I know I'm only short, but we'll get a bit further on here and see if it opens up a bit. As you can see, can't even see over the top of the bushes. Tripped up there, but I don't want to tempt fate, but I'll just talk to you in a second about why I'm a bit nervous about walking on here. But first we'll get to the end and see what we can see. It's not opened out yet, but what a view. I don't know if you can see that in the sun. You can see St Clement's Isle. That is amazing. And I'm parked right round where those trees are on the end. It's a nice view. Nice view. God, how much further does this go on? Bloody hell. Just got to this little open area covered in, I don't know, pollen from these flowers, because they're really quite tall. Covered in pollen, but it's quite a nice view, I must admit. I think I flew to these rocks last time. I think that's called Spaniard Head or something, Spaniard Rock or something. Because I think the Spanish did try to attack Mousehole many years ago. That's probably where it's got its name from, but yeah, I'm just trying to wonder how far I need to go before it opens up. I mean, I don't quite know if I've got to get to those trees, which aren't too far away, but oh well, we'll push on, see where we get to. Yeah, I've decided to just park myself down here on these few rocks, because that is probably still a good 200 metres away, those trees, which look quite interesting. I'm just getting covered in pollen, and I don't know what these are, but as you're walking through it, I mean, look at the colour of my legs on my tripod. Get absolutely filthy. So the only thing is the wind. It's a touch windy, so I don't quite know how my drone's gonna act. But only thing I can do is obviously get it out and test it. But there's a nice little interesting cove underneath. See these two rocks? A nice interesting cove in between there. So I'll certainly try and film that. But yeah, it's a bit windy, but we'll see how we go. We'll see how we go. Yeah, I've just had my Mini 3 up there and only used, I think, 40% of my battery, because the wind's a bit strong, which I thought it would be. Mind you, I've managed to fly out to the trees, I think it's called Kemmel, onto that point there, and then just round there is Lamorna Cove. So I think I'm going to push on round to Lamorna Cove and just see if I can film back to this point from Lamorna, and then that should be this stage done. So I'm not looking forward to that climb back up to my car, up here, up this path along. Oh, it's horrible. I must admit, I've got a bit of respect for those people that do this, but yeah, you get filthy. So I'll push on back to my car and see how we get on it at Lamorna. finally I'm coming to the end of the path, and I'm not sorry, because that wasn't very nice. But as I just said a moment ago, the reason why I wasn't looking forward to that is because I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube about snakes being along there, laid across the path, slithering out your way. And one of my biggest fears is snakes. So I wasn't looking forward to it. But now I'm nearly back to my car, I'm glad. Even though I didn't see any, I must admit, I didn't see one. But I wasn't looking forward to it. But at least now that bit's done. So I'm shooting around to Lamorna Cove. Oh, thank God for that. So I've just got to Lamorna Cove, and I'm hoping I'm going to be able to see a fair bit. Logan's Rock on the end, because it is a bit misty. You can see up on the quarry. You can see it's a bit misty up on the high ground, but down at sea level it's pretty clear. So I'm hoping when I get my drone up that it's not going to be too bad. Just that the sun's disappeared. I can't believe it. So the only other thing I don't like is I'm against the clock, because Lamorna Cove you have to pay for parking. It's a place of natural beauty, so I understand that, but I've put 2 hours in the meter, so that gives you till about 8:30. So we'll see how I have to get on. So I'm against the clock, but I hate doing that. I like to take my time. But what I'm here on this lower level pier. There's a car park just up there, but the path, the southwest path, goes around there and climbs around the rocks, and I know for a fact there's a flat area just at the top of there where I could take off and film the harbour. So I'm going to go up to that upper level so to set myself up and get flying. So I'll see you up there. So I've just got those steps on the top car park, and I'm just walking up the coastal path, which takes me up to this flat area at the top here. And I'm glad there's no one camping, because I've seen a few people come up here in little vans and things and set up camp for the night. So it all seems to be nice and quiet, which is good. But as usual, Cornwall delivers with a view. Amazing view. So this is the last filming, hopefully, for this stage from Newlyn to Lamorna Cove. So fingers crossed all goes well. So I'll speak to you in a minute. Well, that's been a good morning of flying there. I've managed to fly around Lamorna, been out to Logan's Rock, over the harbour, and I've also done a bit of filming round towards Porthcurno around there for the next stage, which is Lamorna round to, I can't remember, I don't know if it's Porthcurno or Porthgwarra. But yeah, that's been pretty smart. The clouds gave it a bit of mystique, if that's the right word, because they were quite low over the hills. As I got to probably 100 foot, the clouds sort of came into it, which gave the pictures and the videos a bit more depth. But yeah, it was good. It was good. So this is the final bit of filming for the stage from Newlyn to here to Lamorna Cove. So thanks for watching the video. Thanks for sticking with it again. And hopefully check out the final cut videos, I call it, which shows the drone footage for this particular part of the Cornish coast, which is just phenomenal. I'm experiencing some amazing locations, some amazing coastlines, some of which I've never seen before. But yeah, stick with me, there's quite a lot more to come, hell of a lot more to come. So thanks for watching. If you'd like to give the video a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing, that'll be fantastic. So take care, and I'll speak to you on the next one.